It's the SKOR North Twin Show.
All right, SKOR North Extra Innings. Declan Goff, live from Target Field. Solo pod, because everyone is just down the street, actually, at the Fillmore for the Purple Daily Draft Party. So I wanted to hop on here, give you guys a quick little rundown of what happened here at the Minnesota Twins game, who swept the Chicago White Sox. So the Twins, they're back on track. They sweep the lowly White Sox. Well, look, there's some things you can take away here positively. There are some things of, well, can they do it against other teams? I think all those things are fair to say. We're going to get into that a little bit here on the SKOR North Extra Innings podcast. My name's Declan Goff. Hit that subscribe button. Hit the like button, too, for extra Minnesota Twins content. Twins are just 2 games back now of 500 after they started, I believe, 6-12 on the year. That's what happens when you take 4 in a row from the Chicago White Sox. Some positives today, so let's just dive into this right here. I'm live from Target Field. There's even a high school baseball game going on in front of me. And again, head on over to Purple Daily here in a few hours. We're going to be live from the Fillmore. We are jacked for that as well. But want to give you guys at least a brief little SKOR North Extra Innings piece of content. So today the offense, let's start there. A lot of loud outs. You had a lot of outs from Kepler and Larnach and Santana that typically are going to fall. I mean, you're talking about exit velos in the high hundreds. You're talking about expected batting averages above 500. Hits that typically, when they're hit like that, more often than not, they're going to be base knocks. But in the first 5-6 innings for the Twins, that was not the case. And they had a lot of loud outs, a lot of pitch to contact, for God's sakes. But eventually, the game busts open in that bottom of the 6th with back-to-back home runs from Edouard Julien and Ryan Jeffers, and then that led to 5 straight, eventually reaching for the Twins, and they end up kind of taking this game from there after they were able to kind of figure out Soroka, who again was giving up a lot of those loud outs, but the Twins hung in there. They delivered some good at-bats. Edouard Julien, man, let's also get into that here right now, because Julien got moved down in the batting order, and by move down, goes from the leadoff spot to the second spot. Rocco joked with the media on Tuesday, I believe, going into the series. It might have even been the first game on Monday. Hey, let's put Eddie in a blender and let's see what comes out. Well, Edouard Julien, home run to right, home run to left, that opposite field power we're accustomed to, that pull power that we actually don't see from his power side of him, also going over the limestone here at Target Field. Just a really impressive day. And hey, it sparked something, as Rocco said in postgame when he was asked about it too. You know, you put a little alarm clock by a guy, wakes him up a little bit. You know, Julian's been scuffling to start the season. And again, I know it's White Sox pitching. I completely understand why some people might not even believe that what has happened over these last 4 games is anything worth celebrating. If you're a Twins fan and you had expectations for this Twins season and they started the way they did, you would hope they would have taken at least 3 of 4. And of course, you would have liked for them to sweep them as well. So the Twins come away with this with 11-13 win. Edouard Julien with the big day at the plate. Trevor Larnach has really, I think, at least for the first week since being called back up here, has started to figure things out, which is a positive sign. I mean, this is a guy who was a former first-round pick, has had about 3 or 4 different stop starts in his career trying to figure out where he fits in the logjam of Twins outfielders and left-handed bats, and I think he has found a place here. I really do. You know, of course, he's starting hot, and I don't expect him, you know, maybe to be slashing 375 and having an OPS of over 1,000 like he kind of has for the first week of the season. But I think Trevor Larnach has really made some nice adjustments here. You saw an opposite field inside-out swing for a single in the first inning. His power is for real. If you give that guy a fastball, he's going to absolutely pull it. He's going to destroy the pitch, and we saw that multiple times throughout this 7-game homestand for the Twins. But I think this guy's for real. And if Trevor Larnach has indeed figured it out, I mean, you're talking about a legit guy in the middle of the order again, and just that run of left-handed pitchers or hitters that the Twins have. That's good news for the Twins. You need your left-handed hitters with all these guys to start getting more base knocks consistently. And I think Trevor Larnach is 100%, you know, part of that equation for the Twins. So that was also a very good sign. Ryan Jeffers, he's been just quietly consistent in my opinion. He's been one of the better hitters. I'm not trying to knock him. Quietly consistent for the start of the season. He's been one of the better hitters. But the exit velo, if you are again kind of going off how hard that ball's coming off the bat, is actually in one of the more bottom percentages of the league. I asked Ryan about that yesterday after the game, and I just said, you know, what is your thoughts on exit velocity? Some people don't, you know, really buy all the way into it. Typically, again, the louder the out, the louder the pitch off the bat, the more results you're going to have for base hits. And I want to figure out, where does Jeffers stand in that? Because he's clearly being successful in ways that don't involve high exit velocities. Now, he did bring up to me, kind of tongue-in-cheek, that I think last season, and I believe this might still be the case, he has one of the loudest hits of all time since the StatCast era started in 2015. but this year it's about 83 miles per hour. And he said some of that is combating, sometimes, of course, this coaching staff and this hitting staff, they want their hitters to drive the ball and have a lot of exit velo off there. But Ryan Jeffers is also a professional hitter, right? And that's what he told me too. Like, I'm going to figure out ways to put the ball where it's supposed to be, which is why he's been able to have success despite having a low exit velocity. Well, today, Ryan Jeffers did not miss a pitch, and he put it right over the seats, 112 miles per hour off the bat. It was a good sign. He joked with me afterwards in the clubhouse as I just came up here about 15, 20 minutes ago. Told you I have some of those swings in me. So Ryan Jeffers still having a lot of good at-battles at the plate, and I think some of that exit velo eventually will start to rise up a little bit. I think it's important to weigh all those options sometimes when it comes to looking at what is being, reported on those statistics with exit velo and whatnot. But Ryan Jeffers continues to have a really just solid start to the season. He's just been quietly really consistent, and I think you are going to see a lot of in those situations. You're going to see a lot of balls that will be hit hard and over the fence. He's going to bat high up in the order against left-handed pitchers. We saw that yesterday, and he rightfully so is going to be still batting in the middle of the order, against a righty too. So a lot of good signs from Ryan Jeffers, a lot of good signs from Edouard Julien, Trevor Larnach too. So I think this offense, as much as they were playing a lowly Chicago White Sox team, kind of needed this. I mean, for God's sakes, Carlos Santana finally hits a home run, right? So I think the offense kind of needed this little extra AAA type of boost when the White Sox came to town, who are on pace to be one of the worst teams of my lifetime. And for them to kind of take care of business against the Sox, I think is a very, very good sign. Sticking with the pitching side of things, or going to the pitching side of things, Simeon Woods-Richardson got bumped up here. So originally, it was supposed to be Bailey Ober making the start in the finale. Well, late last night it was announced they're going to flip that a little bit. Bailey Ober is going to start tomorrow in Los Angeles, and we'll get into that here in just a little bit. And Simeon Woods-Richardson is going to come back up here. He made a spot start in Detroit in the doubleheader, pitched well, but was the 27th man, so he automatically had to go back down. But today, pretty effective, okay? I mean, he gave up some hits, but he had 11 swings and misses. His breaking ball stuff, I asked about that because he also was mixing in his slider and changeup, and he said it bailed him out a lot today. I mean, if it wasn't for some of the execution on the off-speed stuff, he doesn't know if he has a successful start. So Simeon Woods-Richardson will be in this rotation. I mean, he's taken Louis Varland's spot. He's going to face these White Sox again next week, which he is very thankful for. But at the same time, I thought Simeon Woods-Richardson did a really nice impression today. He has a spot in this rotation, and now Bailey Ober will start Game 1 tomorrow against the Los Angeles Angels. So good stuff from the Minnesota Twins pitching staff to just take care of business against the Chicago White Sox team. Kind of looking ahead, too. So things to watch coming up. So obviously the Angels, and then you're going to play the White Sox again. It's a 6-game road trip. I believe they're off next Thursday, a week from now. And you're going to see tomorrow, at least, Bailey Ober. Then you're going to see Chris Paddock, who had a very nice start on Monday. And then you're going to see Pablo Lopez in the series finale. Lopez is the one I think I'm most curious to watch, and his start on Sunday is going to be very, very important. He had low exit, I have exit velo on the brain. He had low pitch velocity in his last start. He only lasted 78 pitches. He was pulled, and the Twins obviously had to make a decision there to pull him, and a lot of people thought, is something wrong here? The velo is significantly down. Is there a cause for concern? Pablo says no. Coaching staff says no. But if that velo is still down and the execution of those pitches is not quite there, I think this is cause for concern. I talked to A.J. Fredrickson about this too yesterday, and if Pablo Lopez is out for an extended period of time, that's a problem. I mean, Simeon Woods-Richardson can come up here and take Louis Varland's spot in the rotation. That's fine. It's expected of him. But if there's a problem with Pablo Lopez, that is significant issues for the Twins. So hopefully Pablo is indeed okay. It was just bad weather. It was just cold start. I mean, for God's sakes, the wind is still blowing here. I have a runny nose from sitting in the press box with the open air. So maybe it was just the cold air, and maybe he goes to California and shoves. He's Pablo Lopez of old. But I'm very curious to watch kind of how that ends up coming to be. And again, the Twins have a chance to get back to 500. So they're 2 games back. If they take care of business against the Angels, they take care of business again against the White Sox. You're talking about a team that's back over 500 with the Boston Red Sox coming back to town next weekend. So all in all, this was, I think, mostly still a successful homestand. You swept the White Sox. You should have. I know you lost 2 or 3 to the Tigers, but Twins are showing signs of life. They're not going to be as bad as the White Sox. They're not going to be as bad as the Rockies. Don't get dragged to hell was kind of the theme I had a couple weeks ago. Twins aren't in hell, but they still have to figure out a way to claw back to 500, put more consistency in their at-bats. And Carlos Correa, I think, will likely be back in the Chicago series. That was kind of the word that I've been hearing around. We'll see, and he wouldn't require a rehab assignment either, so he'll likely, I believe, travel with the team, or maybe he stays back for a day and joins them prior to the start of the White Sox series next week. But you're going to get Carlos Correa back. Royce Lewis had a visit with the doctor yesterday, so there'll be probably some news on his timeline to return as well coming in the next few days, hopefully. So Twins get back to 500. They're 11-13. Positive sweep for the Twins. Hit that subscribe button. This is the SKOR North Extra Innings Show content. My name's Declan Goff. Doing a solo pod today. You'll see guys like AJ Fredrickson and Ross Brendel and Alex Wested, Manny Hill, Judd Zolgad, maybe even Phil Mackey from time to time. So Twins are back on track. No, I was not going to bail on this team. Glad to see the Twins picked up some wins. They have a big road trip coming up and kind of can get their season right back on track. Go ahead, check out Purple Daily tonight. We're going to be live at the Fillmore. I am super excited. It's one of our most favorite days of the year. We're going to have a lot of fans there. We're going to be streaming live on YouTube so that you won't miss anything either. So go head over to Purple Daily. Go check that out. And hit that subscribe button right here, though, for more Minnesota Twins content. My name's Declan Goff. I will be chatting at you another time.